I'm going live again, February 21st, 2018. Every day, I try to go live. I try to go live sometime between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to join the live feed, you could do that. And when you join the live feed, you can add a comment to the live chat section. That's the magical part about the live stream. Viewers join. We have dialogue. We can talk about anything from living out of my car to porn to politics and everything in between. And that being said, the first person in the live stream is Pat. Love and respect to Pat, and Pat's a female. I know it sounds like it's a male, but I can't pronounce her real name, so we call her Pat. AJ's in the building. Love and respect to my good brother AJ. Appreciate you. And so yes, every day I go live daily between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pick a specific structured topic that I like to talk about, something that I've been through in my life experience that I feel will help. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's serious, but I always try to keep it overall positive. And like I said, the magical part about the live stream is the live comments. I really don't, I put some structure to the live feeds, but I try to keep it free flowing because, that's what the live feeds are about. You know what I mean? The connection and the fun that we have. And that being said, who else? Ed's in the building. Ed, man, love and respect to you, brother. Oh, Taffy. Oh, damn, we live. He gave me the sunglass emoji. Taffy left a great comment on my video I did yesterday. I think it was yesterday when I got my tires changed. Yesterday or the day before, I got my tires changed on my Jeep Renegade. I live full-time in my Jeep Renegade, for those who don't know. About a year ago, a little over a year ago now, I sold my condo that I owned for 15 years. I adopted a minimalistic, simplistic life, and it's given me not just financial freedom, but mental freedom. And that's part of my, things that I share on this channel. But that being said, Taffy, I got my tires changed, my front two tires on my Jeep Renegade, and Taffy left a great comment about rotating your tires. Also, the front tires tend to wear quicker because most vehicles are front-wheel drive. In addition, you turn with your front tires. In addition to, even if your car like mine is four-wheel drive, there's different features, such as a Jeep Renegade, where you could put it in auto. And when you have it in auto, it doesn't always engage all four wheels to drive. It only engages the four-wheel drive capability if the traction deems it necessary, meaning it can't get traction, then it'll kick into four-wheel drive unless you lock it in four-wheel drive. So your front tires tend to wear quicker. You should check your tires, again, 50,000 miles or more than 4 years. You should check your tires to see if the tread is starting to crack. If you see little cracks in the tread in addition to the balding, get them changed. How much did I spend? $270 for two tires. So if I got all of them done, it would be a little bit over $500, but my back ones are still good. So Taffy, good comment. You should read his comment. I appreciate Taffy. You must have some background in working mechanically on cars. So I just want to say I appreciate your comment. Thank you for adding. And that's your passion, brother. I hope you do something in that field, Taffy. I really do, man, because I could tell you're knowledgeable, and I felt the passion on that comment. Like, this is something that I like. And I like that you shared that information for other people, man. So thank you again, Taffy, man. Love and respect. Marco's in the building. Howdy, Sam. Howdy to you. I like it. Love and respect, Marco. Pat says, I've been watching a lot of your video from a while back. It made me think about a lot of things. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's a evolution. It's an ongoing process. In the beginning, I was a little bit awkward in front of the camera because you have to get used to it. Anything you do in life, even if you're good at it, even if you're not scared of it, you have to get used to it. You have to have the experience. You have to get hit in the face. You can spar, match, and you can do training in the gym all you want, but there is nothing like going into the game, going into the ring, and getting hit in the face. And in life, if you want to do something, if you have a passion, if you have a purpose, you have to just do it. And it'll be awkward in the beginning. You'll fumble through it. But that's how you get better. There's no substitute for that. You can watch a million tutorial videos, and that's helpful. You should do your research. You should do your planning. But you have to do it for yourself. But thank you, Pat. Appreciate that. Pat says, I understand it's not for everybody, like we said. If you are married, you have to think about the other person. Definitely. I mean, definitely. And, if you're married, the mobile lifestyle, specifically living out of a car, you may be able to do an RV, but living out of a car is not really going to be feasible. And in addition, if you have a pet, not practical for most people unless you're retired and you can dedicate a lot of time to that. But it's doable only if both people want to do it. If they don't want to do it, then there's going to be resentment. And so that's part of life. But a lot of people say, well, I just do it by myself. But eventually, if you're married or if you're in a relationship, you're the type of person where even if you like alone time, you also are not good if you have too much time by yourself. Again, I know a lot of people think, well, it's great to be single. And it is. I love it. But I love it because I like to be alone all the time, pretty much. So some people, they like to be alone a little bit, but they also like the warmth of a body next to them in the bed. They also like, somebody else to talk to, somebody else to text to. And, and they would self-destruct if they didn't have someone else in their life. They would drink themselves to death. They would be overly anxious. They would be would be lost. So you have to know yourself. Knowing yourself is always the key to all decisions. That being said, Sailing John's in the building. Sailing John, Sam, what's up? Palm tree emoji, what's up, brother? It was, just so you know, for people who are not in the tri-state area, in New Jersey today, it got up to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. For February 21st, 2018, for February, I mean, that's abnormally high. It's going back down to the 40s the next few days, but we may have broke past the heart of winter and started to touch in the beginning of spring. So that's encouraging. Is it the same as Florida? No. Look, even when the weather is 82 degrees, the same as it is in Florida, it's a different atmosphere in the tri-state area. It just is. I mean, it's not a lifestyle of outdoor activity, boating, fishing, nature. It's a metropolis. And even when you go to southern New Jersey, you go to the Jersey Shore, it's not the same. It's a season. The Jersey Shore is a seasonal town. Shops don't open up till May or June, and after school lets out in June, the Jersey Shore is packed. It's uncomfortable, and it's there's some beautiful areas of the Jersey Shore, but it's a different lifestyle. Every state has its own personality, just like every child has their own personality. And until you visit them, you can't appreciate that. Meadow, the beautiful Meadow from the Philippines gives me the hand wave emoji. Hello to you, Meadow. How is your schooling going, and how's your training going? Pat, and how's your cats? Pat, dealing with the outside elements, living full-time in a van. Oh, it's definitely hard. You have to want to do it. I froze my ass off this winter. It was very uncomfortable. And in the summer, there's some months it gets very hot. Why do I do it? Because I have a passion for it. I have a passion for YouTube. I have a passion for what I'm doing in my life right now. And I see the dream getting closer. So unless you have a passion for something, you won't push past the pain. Because no matter what you do in life, there's some pain. There's some discomfort. And the only way you'll push past it is if there's something inside you that is just passionate about it. And so that's what I saw with Taffy when he commented on my changing the car tire video. I saw passion in that comment. Identify your passion. Identify what sets your soul on fire. And that's part of the exploring, the discovery of self. In your teens and 20s, you're still trying to figure out this world. In your 30s and 40s, you got to start to figure out what's your passion. And if you've waited till your 50s, 60s, 70s, then get going. Get going, because time's ticking. And that's the only thing that I keep reminding myself, that I'm doing things responsibly. I'm not just rushing, and I'm blessed to have my job. But I was talking to a guy that I work with today. He has his family in Key West. And he's 56, and I was saying, Bah, I said, when the hell are you going to retire, man? I mean, you have, the money. I know you're not of age to collect Social Security, et cetera, but if you liquidate all your stuff, you can do it. And he basically told me, yeah, it's just, it's mentally challenging. He has to get a wife that has to be in agreement with that. And so that's challenging. And he goes, well, if I go down there, I still have to work a few more years until I collect Social Security. I don't just want to eat my savings, and then I have to work for a lot less, because, there's not many jobs, especially in Key West. It's not Miami. So, and it's like 2-hour trip from Key West to Miami. But I said, well, that's true. And that's sort of what I'm a little bit hesitant on. But then you have to remember, you're going to wait then another 10 years so you can collect full Social Security and you can make the good money. 10 years, your physical body's going to deteriorate more. Your body deteriorates big time between 55 to 65, between 25 to 35, to 35 to 45 to 55. Every 10 years, your body, you don't get that time back. Do things responsibly. That's what I'm doing. But I'm very conscious that time is of the essence. Living a life with urgency, and not just, planning your life away, and then, you're 70 and you got about enough energy to go for one walk a day and look at the birds. And I know a lot of people probably in this chat room maybe be 70, but these are my thoughts on it. Got to be mindful of that. Pack Live from the California, the Bay Area specifically. Love and respect to Pack Live. What's up, Sam? Sunglass emoji. What's up to you, brother? Checking in, buddy. I appreciate that. Always appreciate you checking in, and I always appreciate the sunglass emoji. That makes me smile. How's everything? Overall, everything is good. It's hot. It's, like I said, it's good to drop back down tomorrow, but it was very hot today. It's in the 80s. I'm sweating now. I think I'm going to take this off. I got both windows cracked. And I'm thankful. I'm enjoying that. I'm gonna hit the shower, hit the Planet Fitness shower after this live feed. Put some baby powder on, get in some clean sweatpants, and crawl in the back of my Renegade and sleep like a cuddled up bear. And be thankful for a simplistic, minimalistic life. I'm not changing water heaters. Praise the Lord. Pat, it's Florida, hot and muggy. I like hot and muggy. I don't like cold and crisp. I don't like 75 degrees and no humidity. I like 85 degrees, humidity, sweating my ass off. The only downside is at night, without our RV with hookups, it gets a little hot. But I don't, some people don't want to sweat. I want to sweat. I want it to be hot. I don't want it to be 70 degrees and cool. That doesn't inspire me. Once in a while for a change of pace, I'm okay with that, but I like it hot. Now, I like it hot. I don't want to work in a ditch and be hot. I've done that, but I like it hot. I like the environment hot. Tammy from Florida. How are you, Tammy? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. Always good to see you, Tammy. Love and respect to you. How's everything with the family and yourself? Pat, I think about not being comfortable with people, animals, cars passing by. There's no doubt about it. I mean, unless you're in a campground, and a quiet campground at that, when you're in the car, you have to be used to the elements. You have to be okay with being outside and hearing noise and hearing people open and close car doors. And, if you're not comfortable with that, it's not for you. Does that make you bad? No, that makes you you. Again, you have to identify you. You have to identify what sets your soul on fire, what brings you peace. So we're all different. I don't want everyone to be me. I don't want to be them. I want to respect one another. And as best we can, let's try to connect. And if we can't be on the same page, then we just go our own way and we live in peace. I'm not mad at that. Meadow, laugh out loud. It's good to laugh. I'm not schooling, Sammy. Just done training with my new client. I like that. Doing good. Exclamation mark. Cats are doing good. Thanks. Smiley emoji. Good. Meadow making it happen. Meadow, at this point in your life, I know you're rather young, but at this point in your life, what is your dream? In 2 sentences or less, what is your life dream, Meadow? Taffy. That's my guy, Taffy. I work in IT. Taffy works in IT? Okay, I wouldn't have. Taffy says, I work in IT. So do I. Taffy said, I work in IT, but I like to tinker around with cars in my spare time. I could tell with that passionate comment. It's relaxing to me. See? That matters. After a long day of staring at a computer screen, sometimes it's nice to unplug and be around technology. Amen. Well, Taffy, man, I like that, man. I mean, we're in the same field, but I respect that. See, that's the thing, I mean, right? Like, that's why I was sharing the other day. There was one guy I was watching on YouTube that he had a long day. He saw his neighbor struggling to put a piece of furniture together. He offered to help. Why? Because it helped him unwind and get out of his thoughts. That wouldn't help me unwind. Putting furniture together would make me more aggravated. Working on my car would make me more aggravated. But Taffy and this other guy, see, they've identified what relieves their stress, and that's wisdom. And I could tell by his comment. Like, I almost wanted to throw up making that video about getting my tires changed. But when I saw Taffy's comment, I said, this brother, there's something to it. That inspires him. And I like that. So that's good to identify your passion. Very good. Pat, I feel like I would be out in the elements. Pat, yes, Sam, you're right. Yes, you're definitely out in the elements. Part of living in your car is being around nature more, whether it's the city, suburbs, or in the middle of nowhere. And so for me, that's healing. I like to be around that. Obviously, I always try to be in safe environments, et cetera, et cetera. But that is part of living in your car. You're around the elements. And, for me, that's been healing. But for some people, that would not be. They want to be, a house is basically shielding and creating your elements. It's sheetrock with a few windows with controlled heating and airing. And you're basically in a cocoon. A car is like, you're living amongst the nature. instead of secluding yourself away from it. So, better video tubes. But he retracted his statement. Sarah, the beautiful Sarah. When to tell them? Haha. Sorry, I'm a bit late to the party. No worries, Sarah. You're never late. You're always on time. And I'm gonna get to that's my structured topic. I just kind of doing the live comments because they're coming in, and I appreciate the live comments. But I'm gonna get to that structured topic because that's something important that I went through in my life. I still go through in my life, and I want to share with you guys about when to tell people something. When to tell people you're going to live out of your car. When to tell people, God forbid, you may have cancer. When to tell people you're getting married. When to tell people you're pregnant. Or when to tell people whatever. Whatever it is that's going on big in your life, you're going to struggle with when should you tell people. Anyone from your mother to your lover to your boss. And I want to get into that. And then I'm going to go back to live comments. I've shared, and I'm going to give a couple examples, not just about living mobile, but I want to start there. Last year, when I sold my house and I decided to live out of my car, I only told maybe one or two people, and that's only because I was very close with them. Most people, including my parents, I did not tell. Why? I was not ready. You tell people as an adult when you are ready, period. You could cut the live feed off. When do you tell people? When you are ready, period. As long as whatever you're doing is not affecting them. We already know, whatever you should do should not hurt anybody. But, you can't say, well, you're not going to tell your parents you're living in a car, but you're going to park in their backyard. You understand what I'm saying? You can't, say, well, I'll decide when I tell, my husband when I'm pregnant, because that affects him seriously. I'm talking about things in life, whether it's you deciding to live out of your car or, God forbid, you being diagnosed with some serious illness. If it doesn't affect other people as far as in your close room, you don't have to tell them until you're ready. And so I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell most of my friends. I didn't tell most people I was thinking about living out of my car. Why? Because I was scared, nervous, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. And when you're scared and when you're nervous and if you don't know something is going to work out, if you don't know it's going to stick, you can't afford to tell someone and they put all their fear, all their emotional burdens on your soul. You're fighting to keep your soul, your spirit in a peaceful place. I almost fell apart emotionally last year going through the process of selling my house. That's a very painful process. In addition with working and everything else, they say selling your house, getting married, having a child, those are some of the most stressful things. Why? It totally changes your routine. And so the last thing I needed was other people to give me more shit. Not because they were mad at me, but just because they worry, they're scared, they have questions, they're going to judge. I didn't need all that. I had to keep myself together. I almost fell apart. It's only by the grace of God. It's a lot of stress selling your house, and then a lot of stress doing something odd like living in your car. And then I remember I dated a girl one time. She had got cancer, ovarian cancer. It was a MILF. Right? She had got ovarian cancer. And she didn't tell her. I wasn't dating her. I was seeing her. Let me say that. But I will say this. I remember when she went through it, she didn't tell her mother. And her mother got very upset with her. And this lady's reply to her mother was basically, look, I didn't tell you, I was scared, and there's nothing you can do to help me, and I had to work through that process myself. And her mother lived a little bit away from her too. So she's diagnosed with cancer. It's a major thing. It doesn't necessarily affect her mother. Of course, a mother wants to know when her child's sick, but also a mother is going to give more nervous energy to her child. When you as your mother's child are already nervous, when you're already scared, facing cancer or facing anything else, the last thing you need is someone else to be scared for you. Why? Because it makes the burden harder to carry. When do you tell people? Whenever you are ready. As an adult, you have the right to do that. Some people can't accept that. You will lose some friends, you will lose some family members because they're upset that you didn't tell them. I remember an episode of The Kardashians when Khloe got married to Lamar Odom. At that time, he was still a guy. Jenner, who's that guy? Caitlyn Jenner, not Caitlyn, but at that time he was Bruce Jenner. And Bruce got real pissed at Khloe. He said, I found out through the media. Why should I have to find out through the media that you got married? And it was obvious. Why didn't Khloe tell him? Because she only knew Lamar for a month, and she knew everybody was going to judge her. She knew that it may not last, and it didn't last. But the last thing she needed, she still had a right as an adult, even if it was a mistake, she had a right to see her decision through and to keep it to herself until she was ready to tell other people, even if they found out through other means. That's her right as an adult. And certainly, same thing with me. When I didn't tell my parents about me living in my car, when they found out, I got two different reactions. My father found out, he sent me a card or something in the mail, and it got sent back to him because my address had changed. And he goes, what happened? You didn't tell me you're just going to move this. So, whoa. My decision does not affect you. It doesn't give you an extra bill. It doesn't give you an extra responsibility. I wasn't ready to tell anyone. And I even tried to tell him a little bit, but when I even hinted at the idea, he became judgmental. So a lot of times people say they can handle it. They can handle you telling them the truth, but you begin to tell them the truth and they can't handle it. They become very judgmental. They become very loud. Their tone changes. And then you don't want to tell them. And you have every right not to. A lot of times parents, say, oh, you can tell me anything. And then as soon as their child begins to tell something, their tone changes, their body language changes, their demeanor changes, and no wonder the child doesn't want to tell them. And so this will happen in your young life and adult life, but as an adult specifically, child has a little bit different circumstance, but certainly as an adult, you have to remember, for your own peace, to keep your own confidence, to keep yourself from not falling apart, don't tell anyone until you're ready. I often always give the parable of, most women that I've known in life, when they become initially pregnant, they don't tell anybody. Why? They wait until their first trimester. They wait until 3 years after, not 3 years, excuse me. They wait until 3 months, the first trimester. They wait till they can hold that baby in their body for 3 months, usually, until they tell anyone. Why? Because in the first 3 months of you birthing something new, your body, your hormones, your mental, it's very fragile. And anything could happen. You could lose that baby. Your mind is already trying to adjust to this huge life-changing event. The last thing you need to do is tell everyone, have a baby shower. You're not ready. You don't tell people you're pregnant till third, fourth month. Unless it's maybe obviously your husband or if it's a close friend. It's that same principle. You have to keep yourself together. As an adult, your job is to keep yourself together. Your job is to not to baby your parents. Your job is not to baby your lover. Now, if you're married, there's a different set of circumstances with that. Like I said, Pat can't just jump in her car and say, I decide to live in a car. I'll tell my husband when I'm ready. That's different. We have to be mature in this conversation. But certainly, if you're dating someone, whatever, and if you wanted to try, you don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to tell people at your work anything. You don't have to tell your parents. As long as what you're doing does not directly put a burden on them. And that's what I want you to have peace about. Going through different things in my life, I'm giving you some examples. There's not one thing that I could speak to everyone. But I think for those who are mature, and a lot of people in here are very positive, very thankful for people in here, you get it. I'm giving you empowerment and peace to say that you don't have to tell anyone until you are ready. You keep yourself in a good space, in a healthy space. I know it's scary. I know it's nervous. Just starting your own business. Sometimes you don't want to tell anybody you're going to quit your job and start your own business. Why? Because it may fail. And you got to keep all your confidence, all your strength together to keep your dream in that 3-month period so you can hold it and see if it will come true. It may take 3 years before you want to tell people. That's your right as an adult. That's your right. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but let me get back to the live feeds. That's my attention. All right? Back live. You always got positive response, buddy. Well, thank you. I tried. Planet Fitness, good place to kick back for 1 or 2 hours. Love Planet Fitness. I have the black card. There's 2 different memberships. I think you get the silver card, the black card. The silver card is like the $10 a month plan. That allows you only to visit one of their gyms. You have a home gym, and that's it. The black card, you pay $21 and change. I think I pay $21.37 a month. It's automatically deducted from my checking account. Don't get nervous about that. And you can visit any of their gyms globally or nationally. I don't go globally. I don't want to say that, but nationally, anywhere throughout the United States of America. And they have a lot of them. I've traveled up and down the East Coast. I've always found a Planet Fitness in my general area. Now, that being said, I travel in populated areas, so I don't go in the middle of nowhere. When I do, there's nothing in the middle of nowhere, so you ain't gonna find Planet Fitness. But I love Planet Fitness, and I'm very thankful. Starpack, I missed you yesterday, brother, but I'm glad you're doing your thing. No, I'm not first. Oh well, might as well let someone else get a turn. Yes, Pat was first today, but Starpack, you're always appreciated, always missed, and Starpack, young leader, gonna be a positive force in this world. Never give up, brother. Better Video Tube says hello. Better Video Tubes, peace and love to you, Tom. Good to see you, man. Pat says, I don't like large groups. Me neither. Concerts, ball games, or any kind of packed up people. So that's why part of the reason I would like to RV. Well, if you get an RV, you're definitely going to be around people. When you're on the road, you're around. Well, all I can say is that has been a common theme. Let me say this. When I've researched nomad channels, when I researched the nomadic life, people living out of their car or RV, one common theme tends to be most are introverts, meaning they like to spend the majority of the times by themselves. They're not recluse. Like, I had a great new viewer today commented, like, you make sure you still have like relationships in real life, and I appreciate his comment. But I do. I mean, I have a couple relationships in real life, and I have a healthy mind, and everything. But for the most part, I like to spend the majority of my time by myself. That's how I am. And the worst thing you can do is try to cave into society pressure and go to Bible study because they're telling you should be around people. Go to a bar because they tell you should be around people. Go to a coffee shop because they say it's good to socialize. It's not good to socialize if you know you like the majority of the time by yourself. You will actually become in an unhealthy place. If you need more you time than the average person, you better spend the amount of you time, because if not, you're going to be in an unhealthy place. Don't allow society, friends, or anyone else define what you should do to put yourself in a healthy space. You know when you're in a healthy space and when you're not. Nobody has to tell you that. And every answer you need is inside yourself. As you take care of yourself well, you'll know what to do. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's nervous, but you know what to do. But I agree with that, Pat. I'm an introvert for the most part, but I have good social skills. I know how to interact with others. Galaxy, England's in the building. Love and respect to Galaxy. Good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. Pat, tell them on a need-to-know basis. I mean, yeah. I mean, and then, yeah. I mean, pretty much, I would agree with that. Look, as an adult, you just got to take care of yourself. You don't take care of yourself, someone else has to take care of you. Then you're really fucked. So, just take care of yourself. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone, period. Better Video Tubes. 86 degrees in Fahrenheit in Augusta, Georgia. Praise the Lord. Beautiful day. Well, I'm glad you had a beautiful day, man. That is a beautiful day, man. I'm glad you're doing well, brother. And I'm glad you had a beautiful day. Peace and love to you, Better Video Tubes. Meadow. I'm living my dream, Sammy. A balanced life. I'm so thankful. How blessed I am. I'm contented most of the time. Then she get the heart emoji. How about you? That's a great comment. For you being so young and living your dream, I give you a lot of credit. And I also acknowledge and give you a lot of credit for a thankful spirit and for understanding contentment. It's not perfect. We all always want more. But how about me? Yeah, I would say overall, I'm 90% living my dream. First is my health. I thank God for that every day. Second is, living in a good area as far as, you could be born anywhere, having a job. And at this point, I finally simplified my life where my mind is in a healthy space, my finances, my health, everything is aligning. And, my final step, though, is still in progress. I'm not going to lie about that. My final step is, I would like to be self-sufficient through my financial means, through my investments, and be able to be in Florida most of the time and travel mainly with the weather. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos today about people comparing, and you shouldn't compare, but, I'm just sharing with you. They're comparing Florida to California. And so different people that have moved from Florida to California, moved from California to Florida, they were saying what the pros and cons were for them. All right. Now, anytime you hear somebody give their opinion, just remember that's them giving their opinion based on their personality. Your personality is unique. My personality is unique. So, they had different reasons. Some were the humidity. Some people, the consensus was the beaches in California weren't as nice as the beaches in Florida. They were scenic, but they weren't as nice. The ocean wasn't as warm in California as it was in Florida. The pros to California, there was more job opportunity, but there was also higher cost of living. There was mountainous area. Florida's mainly flat. So, people had different pros and cons. More nightlife, people said, in Miami area and Florida stuff. But the answer came basically down to, I watched different videos. Some people like California more. Some people like Florida more. The answer basically came down to, what do you like more? But those were some general things that they brought up. But I remember, and I actually remember this, that Bruce Jenner also said this in one of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian episodes, and I agree with this. He said his father always told him, because he wanted to live in Malibu, that you should figure out where you want to live and then figure out how you can live in that area. I think that's wisdom. You should figure out for you, where do you want to live, and how can you build your life, including your job, to live where you want to live. Because you don't want to fall into a trap of, you went to high school in a certain area, your family's in a certain area, and you just automatically start to set roots down in that area, but you haven't decided yet if that area is for you. Because eventually, you know what happens? Your friends move away. Your friends take different jobs. Your parents pass away. Wandering Soul said that the other day. She's from Jersey. She said both her parents passed away. Eventually, she went down to Florida. Or your parents may even move. They may want to move to a tax-friendly state or whatever. I always say you can't make decisions based on how things are today. You have to make decisions based on how you want things to be tomorrow. Because everything, no matter what, will change. So you might as well make the changes to make your life as much as what you want it to be as possible. It's not easy. I still struggle with that, but I'm getting closer, and that's the mindset I've adopted. Because I fell into that routine. Okay, I graduated high school. I got a good job in my area. Let me get a house. I'm thankful that I was able to get a house. Parents helped me. But then you get to a certain area where now I'm just working to keep up with the house and keep up with the car. And why am I doing that? Because that's just the way the cycle's been taught. So you stay in an area, you get a house, and then you say, well, is this the life that I've chosen? Or is this the life that, not through anyone else's fault, but was just kind of like, said, this is what you do? Once you become an adult, you have to define your life. And you have to almost untrain your mind some things you've been taught on. This is the natural progression. Okay? The natural progression is, you graduate, you get a job, you get a house, maybe you get a family, and you don't even know if you want a family yet. You automatically take a manager position. Maybe you don't want to be a manager. Maybe you want to be in a creative field. And before you know it, you're so caught up in bills and you're so caught up in having all your roots set down, you can't design your own life because your life has been designed for you. Because that was the hardest part about selling my house. It's like pulling up roots. Even though I had no desire to be there anymore, it's like pulling up roots, and that's why it's painful. So just be mindful of that. Let me keep going. The art of life, love and respect to you. Same here. Why bother explaining to people who are less able to think outside the box? And then he gave the laugh wink emoji. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, art of life. That's it. Some people don't have the capacity to deal with your outside the box thinking. Some people, why? Because most people don't have the capacity to deal with change. So especially when you're going to make a dramatic life change, if you're going to sell your house and live out of a car, you're going to have a child, you're going to get married to somebody that maybe nobody else thinks you should, or whatever. You're going to do something. You're going to start a business. You're going to leave a well-paying, consistent, steady job to start your own business. Guess what's going to happen? If you tell people, you're doing what? That's what you're doing. Why are you doing that? And all of a sudden, their fear of change, their fear of the risk, they put their emotional burden on you when you're already scared. You don't need that. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your dreams. You have to take care of the life you decide to define for yourself. I worked with a guy, great guy. And we got along a lot. And he decided to live. He had a great job. I worked with him. I know he made great money. Smart guy. And he decided to, he was starting his own business. He was doing both. He was doing his on the side. I knew he was, but I knew he was burning himself out because I did that. I worked nights and had my own business. You can only do that so long. And so I knew eventually he had to make the decision. I didn't know he'd make it as soon as he did. But that's what he did. He basically gave his 2 weeks notice and he decided to start his own business. And I gave him a lot of credit. Whether he makes it, whether he fails, whether he does whatever, I mean, that's between him and his family. I'm not going to tell somebody else how to live their life as long as they're not hurting somebody. So that's between him and his family. But what I will say is that he has to make the decision that's best for him in his life. Even if his parents don't understand it, even if the people he works with doesn't understand it. And he planted a seed of inspiration. That, you need to do what you need to do to live your dream. Again, does it guarantee you're going to succeed? No. But it guarantees that you're going to design your own life. And, now, I'm not one of those people that is into heavy risk taking. Because I've learned most things we do fail. We all fail. And so I do believe in mitigating risk, doing things as responsibly as possible. But that's just me, right? So some people take more risk than others. And sometimes I take more risk than other people. We all have our own ways of taking risk and taking chances. So that's why I'm giving you general principle. But, no one knows your life like you. No one knows your dreams like you. No one knows, how you want to take risk. Maybe you want to take risks in the stock market, but maybe someone else wants to take risk starting a contracting business. Maybe you want to take risk in having another child. They're all risks. Having another child is a risk. Starting a business is a risk. Stocks are a risk. Everything is a risk. What do you want to do? It's your life. And then whenever you do it, you don't have to tell anyone until you're ready. As long as it doesn't directly affect them or it doesn't directly hurt them. You don't have to tell them until you are ready. Never forget that. Sailing John. Back to the live comments. And again, thank you everyone. I want to say it's a little fucking corny, but I got to say it because I got to be right. For people who watch the replay. So when you watch this live stream, if you're not part of it, I read the comments out loud. So you don't see that during the replay. But that's what I'm doing. I'm reading the live comments as they're coming in, and then we're having dialogue. Again, every night I try to go live between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a fucking commercial, but I'm giving it. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe, you get notified. And this is part of that whole live stream process. I've watched different live streams because I'm subscribed to different channels. Everyone has their own way of handling them. But this is overall how I flow every night. So just to give you some feedback on it. All right, that being said, Sailing John. You know me. Sail this boat as far as it can go. White sand. And then you give this sailboat emoji. Tell some as I pull away. That's it, brother. I mean, tell some, tell none, or tell all. It's really a personal decision. But you have to live your life. You have to live your life. And you have to go after what inspires you. I mean, yesterday, a couple days ago, I was getting in my car. And I was rushing a little bit. Try not to rush. And I banged my head on my, my roof. I was coming in the car, and I banged my head on the roof, and it jerked my head back, and it put tightness in my neck and in my spine. It reminded me when I played football, and you'd hit your head the wrong way, and you get like a stinger or something, and it just reminded me how precious life is and your health is, and the importance to do them responsibly, but do things that you need to do. Because just like that, life changes. Just like that, you're old. Just like that, you're looking in the mirror giving that same song like I just gave about the live stream. You're giving the same song about, time flies, or we get old so fast, life goes by so quick. Live with urgency. Make decisions. Very important. Galaxy. I just read an article. It says that researchers have made a human/sheep hybrid, and they don't let them live past 28 weeks. I think this is wrong on so many levels. Well, I guess that goes along the conversational topic of cloning. Do I believe in cloning? I don't have any strong opinions on it at this time. I mean, obviously, we'll see how it evolves. But, I could see pros and cons, but I don't have any, strong, passionate opinion at this time. I guess we'd have to see how that evolves. I'm not sure. Galaxy. I think, but I'm not sure. Galaxy. I got 2 new lizards today. My mom bought them for me. Amen. What are their names? Galaxy? Galaxy. She is the best. Amen. Nothing wrong with respecting and loving your mother. My mother is a blessing in my life too. Certainly, we've had disagreements, but I'm thankful for the point of the relationship I'm at with my mom now. I mean, I'm 37. My mom is basically like 70. I always have compassion for people who lose their parents at a young age. Why? Because when I was young, I think about some of the fights that me and my mom had, and we loved each other, but, I was just immature, and, she was trying to figure out how to raise children. And I thank God for his grace, the Lord's grace, by letting me still have my mother around while I'm older so we can have more mature conversations. And so I say that if you lost your parent at a young age and you feel like you didn't get to say your piece, I want to let you know that that could have happened to any one of us. Any one of us, including me, could have lost their parent or lost someone without us saying our piece and lost them in an argument. So I want to relieve any feelings of guilt. If you lost someone and you didn't get a chance to piece things up, I want to relieve you of any guilt. Guilt is not meant to be held on to. Let go and live your life. Be free. Love is not controlling. Love is not manipulating. And you better believe that you want to live in love. You want to live in freedom. You don't want to live controlled by religious dogma, by your own self. Believe me, you can guilt trip yourself. Your parents can guilt trip you. Your lover can guilt trip you. Everyone can. You can guilt trip yourself, though. You have to let go of guilt. Every day. That's an everyday discipline. Every day. Like I try to be consistent going live. You have to be consistent with letting go of guilt. Certainly you're going to fail. Let go. Start back. Wow, that's amazing. Horrible, but amazing. Technology has evolved so far that we can make animal hybrids. I don't support that, but it's incredible. It is incredible. And, you got to think about too, right? As far as science and medical field, people resisted when they started to do different heart transplants or procedure. Think about 200 years ago. If a doctor told you he wanted to put a tube in your body and put a metal like a bracing and open up your artery, you would look at him like he's the devil. If 200 years ago somebody wanted to stick a needle in you and draw blood to test it, you would look at them like they're the devil. The society may even hang them. So I'm not saying I'm for cloning, but you have to look things from a historical perspective. As science and medicine and technology have advanced over the course of human existence, there could have been many times that society fought innovation in one of these fields because they've never experienced it before. But thank God we've evolved. I believe in a well-balanced mind. I believe in spirituality. I believe in science. I believe in medicine. And again, that's why I say sometimes we just got to step back. We got to get more information. And some things may be bad about, some things may be good, and we have to weigh that out. That'll be a constant discussion in society. But we can't just automatically say it's going to be evil. Just like technology. You can't say automatically artificial intelligence is going to be evil. Some things will be good. Some things may be like the Terminator movie, and we don't know. But we're all connected now, kind of through artificial intelligence. Pat, I wanted to say that because you said you like to be alone. Me, not so much. I respect that. I remember when, thank you, Pat. I remember when I was younger, and even when I was younger, I kind of knew, I didn't understand myself fully because I'm still young and immature. But I remember, when I was in my late teens, my sister had asked me that. She goes, Sam, why don't you like staying in relationships? And there's various reasons. And again, I've had my heart broken. I've been rejected. So it wasn't always like I just didn't want to be. But she knew I could be alone, and I was happy with that, and I was okay. And she was trying to get out of an unhealthy relationship. And she asked me my advice. And I told her, look, you should leave this and this and that. And she goes, Sam, you're right, but you have to understand everyone isn't like you. And what she was saying is everyone doesn't have the same personality or capacity to be alone and to be happy and to be at peace. That being said, there's no excuse to being in an unhealthy relationship. I have sympathy because I've even been in them myself. It's very hard to get out because it's mentally hard. Mentally hard. It's a mental burden. It's a mental barrier. That's the better word. It's a mental barrier to get out of an unhealthy relationship because it's hard to put closure to something and you'll know it'll never go back to what it is. But that's what you need to do. With an unhealthy relationship, you need to grieve the death. You need to go no contact. But if you're in a healthy relationship and it's just a little bit of inconvenience sometimes, but you know you like to be with someone, then you have to deal with that. I mean, it's just like I have to deal with 0 below winters sometimes. Not for long. Hopefully I'll be in Florida. But this is part of, life. Thank you, Pat. Oh, Alan's in the house. Alan Leone, what's up? What's up, brother? Love and respect. Welcome. And thank you for joining. Thank you for leaving a comment. That's exciting. AJ, went to Planet Fitness today. Feeling good. Life is good. And then he gave the perfect emoji. Praise the Lord, AJ. You know what? When we work out, and again, even if you're older and you're not into lifting weights, just going for a walk and listening to your music will make you feel 90% better. You know, when I don't work out, I mean, I just got back in the gym now for a week. You know, I don't take long off, and I don't do a heavy workout. I'm not at this stage of my life, but when I don't go to the gym for weeks, when I don't walk enough during the course of the day, I don't feel myself. I don't feel inspired. I feel sluggish. I feel not good. And so movement is life. Going for a walk, and if you can get in the gym and lift light weights and get your blood flowing, you will feel the rivers of life going through your body, and it will help your mental well-being. It will help your mental well-being. Studies show that. Science shows that. And that's part of a well-balanced life. And that's why I do like living out of a car. Now, it applies to anyone, but living out of a car and having Planet Fitness as my home base for a shower and stuff like that, like, I'm already in the gym. And I'm already there, so it's like, well, I might ready to do something. What should you remember about the gym? That any workout is better than no workout. So if you only lift 5 minutes of working out, it's better than no minutes of working out. Because that's the biggest problem I had with living in a house. It was a burden to go back to at some point because it's a time issue. I have to go back to the house. I have to clean. I have to put toilet paper on the little fucking thing. I have to put that on. I have to put new paper towels. That all takes time. And that's less time I could do with things that inspire me. Go to the gym, do YouTube. So for me, not for everyone, for me, part of living a mobile life, living out of my car, it's freed my time. It's given me more time to do things that inspire me. That matters to me. That doesn't matter to some people. Some people, it inspires them to be in their house and to watch TV, and that's good. But that's not for me. I have to design my own life. And praise the Lord. Jesus in the building. Jesus Torres. Hey, Jesus, how are you, brother? How was your day, man? Good to see you, brother. Galaxy, Starpack. He says, at Starpack. I don't know if I agree with it, though. It's crazy that they did it. Successful, but I feel like it's disgustingly wrong on so many levels. Hey, man, Galaxy's got his view on that. The Art of Life. Jeez, that's cheap. $25 per week for a similar membership in OZ. What's OZ? Yeah, $25 per week. That's crazy. I mean, you should be getting a happy ending with that membership. No good. Galaxy, you're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, it's amazing. I'm very thankful. I mean, I'll certainly do a video when I reach 1,000. God willing, if I reached it. I mean, I remember the first couple months of YouTube, man. The only people subscribed were like a couple people I knew, like from my job, and like 2 guys that I knew from my job that they encouraged me because they knew who I was. And like I said, I've always been into inspirational stuff. I did it on MySpace, I do it on Facebook, I do it on Instagram. So I would do it regardless because I have done it even before YouTube days. But it's discouraging when you first start and like no one views your things. You upload it. And I almost quit. I mean, I did a video. I was like, I didn't quit, but I was getting discouraged. And I said to myself at that time, what should I do? Be consistent. That's what everyone else before me told me when I watched videos on what should you do if you create a YouTube channel? Be consistent. And once in a while when I watch different YouTube videos, I look at the profile. And a lot of times that profile has been abandoned. The last time they uploaded a video was like 2 years ago, or a year ago. And what I've looked at is that I think the average life expectancy for somebody doing a YouTube channel is about a year, and then they don't do it consistently anymore. And what's the average life expectancy for somebody living out of a car? 8 months. That's what I saw. No hard statistics on that, but that's what I saw through my research. And so. I mean, even these live streams, I remember when no one would join it. It was only like It's Miss Kimberly and like 2 other people. And I missed those people, but we had a disagreement about politics and they're gone. But I'm very thankful. I mean, connecting with you guys give great comments, man. It's really been positive overall. It was a little rough in the beginning, and I still get 10% negative feedback. So again, I want to encourage you that if you ever did something in life, you're always going to get 10% negative. I try to mature, I try to grow, I try to say, all right, I got to do some things better. That's a never-ending process. But this is part of whatever you do in life, whether it's a YouTube channel, business, being a parent, whatever. I mean, it's consistency, it's refining yourself, it's understanding you're always going to have 10% people that don't like you no matter how much you try. And then it's just always remember, when you are in doubt, be yourself. When you don't know what to say, when you don't know what the subject to talk about, be yourself. And if no one joins the chat room, if you get no thumbs up, be yourself. Why? Because at least if it doesn't work out, you were true to yourself. And that's life. Jesus says your channel is growing. I'm very thankful. I don't take it for granted. And I'm appreciative to all you guys. Thank you. Very, very much appreciative. Pat, I like spending time with my family, but not sitting next to large groups. Well, I hear that. I don't like spending much time with my family other than my mom. And I don't like large groups. What do I like? I like making money off my investments, being by palm trees, watching a little bit of porn, and going to sleep and doing a live feed. We're all different. We're all different. Startback. Galaxy. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not supporting it. I think it's a horrible trying to play God. I just think it's amazing how far technology has advanced to the point that we can make a new kind of animal. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they had a movie about that. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. Back when he was like in his prime movie making things, I think early 90s, when he had a dog and their family had lost a pet, and then he, at that time, like they were in the future, and he went to the mall, and that they had dog cloning, that when you lose a dog, you can clone your dog, and then he brought that dog back to the house, and it was like a whole like cyber threat type futuristic movie. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's what brings to mind, that eventually, like, you know, they were saying that eventually they'd clone pets. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, cloning and all that, I'd have to find more information, and we have to see how it goes. Interesting topic, though. Taffy, I could have sworn you're not in Florida already. Not yet, but I'm getting closer. But no hat. Yeah, I got the hat. Just took it off. No hoodie. Look, threw me off. 70 in Jersey right now. It's amazing. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, it's amazing. Very warm day in Jersey. Thank you, Taffy. Very warm day in Jersey today. It is going to get cooler. The next 10 days basically going to be in the 40s and 50s, and the next few days rain. But I'm thankful for today, and I'm thankful we made it out. It looks like we made it out of the heart of winter. You know, the heart of winter is January. The heart of summer is July. So, you know, there's a couple months right after those that, you know, the atmosphere is still balancing out. But which Florida? Florida has a license plate, which I will get, that says endless summer. That's the type of life I want to live, endless summer. I don't want to change the seasons. Starpack. Galaxy says, as Starpack. Yeah, it is amazing, and I agree that they shouldn't be playing God. I feel like scientists are really inhumane. Like trapping animals and using them for tests is just so wrong and stuff. Well, I don't feel like, I hear you. I don't feel like, personally, I don't feel like scientists are inhumane. You know, again, I respect science. I respect the medical field. I respect spirituality. I respect all of them. I actually worked, when I was young and I was an apprentice in the electrical field, I worked at a pharmaceutical company that did lab experiments on pets. I couldn't even walk. I mean, I had to, but when I would walk by the laboratories where they had the animals, my heart would sink. Horrible. Now, you could say, well, they've come up with some good medicine testing animals, and most of the testing, they do it on mice. So, you know, not on like dogs or cats, but some they do. So it's tough. I can understand that perspective. I love animals. I love dogs. Oh, DT 2016 says hello, Sam. Hello. Good to see you again, man. Thank you. Jesus retracted a comment. Starpack says, at Galaxy, keep in mind that the methods of research also evolves. There was a law in the 1900s, I think, that forced all research to become humane. While it isn't the best way, it's better than before. Amen. That's what society and humanity is. It's progressively getting better. And there's always going to be evil. There's always going to be the not so good in this world. Don't spend the majority of your mind and your time focusing on trying to make this world perfect. Focus the majority of your time in being your best self and trying to make the world better. You make the world better when you become your best self and you add through your overflow your gift. If your gift is to speak, speak well. If your gift is to teach, teach well. If your gift is to do car mechanic stuff like my man Taffy, do that shit. If your gift is in IT, do that. If your gift is in YouTube, do that. Whatever your gift is, do well. But you won't do your gift well until you learn to take care of yourself well. Because your blessing comes from your overflow of energy, your overflow of inspiration. When you try to contrive, and sometimes I've done it, and as I said, that wasn't inspiring. I know when I'm inspiring because I inspire myself. And I know when, but that's the only way to, look, but you have to do all that. You have to fail. You have to do it. Take care of yourself well. Let your blessing come from your overflow. The art of life. I love these conversations. So do I. They're a blessing to me. Gotta go, though. No problem with that. Go and come as you please. So I'll chime in some other time. Peace to you, man. Peace to you, brother. Art of life. Peace and love, man. Have a great night. AJ, everyone deserves to be happy. If that's his happiness, then let it be. Talking about Bruce Caitlin. Oh, yeah, no, I agree. Look, I agree. One is if you want to be bisexual, if you want to be transsexual, whatever you want to be in this world, you should be. You should have equal rights. I believe in equal rights for gay, lesbian, straight, everything. So I've always been for that. Even since I was young, I've always felt that everyone should be able to be who they are. You want to dress up like a woman, you want to dress up like a man, you want to be gay, you want to be straight, whatever. Everyone should be free and safe to be who they are. I totally support that. And I've totally stood up when I've seen people get picked on because I don't feel it's right. Everyone should just be them. As long as what they're doing is not hurting nobody, I don't care. And I support them. Pat, I don't, but I will, like, if he makes like if he makes a statement I disagree with, he doesn't just get a pass just because I want to be nice to him because he's transgender, right? So if he says some shit that I disagree with, then I call out as bullshit. So that's the problem sometimes, like, when somebody's being themselves, like, he could be transgender, but be an asshole, right? You can be a certain religion and be an asshole. So just because you're transgender doesn't mean you're a nice guy or a nice woman. And just because you're straight doesn't mean you're a nice guy or a nice woman. You're judged by your character. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're atheist. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Period. You don't get a pass because of a label. You should get equal rights no matter what your label, but no one gets a pass for being an asshole. That's my view. Pat, I don't mind being in a crowd of other RVs. I would have to be sitting next to them either. Yeah, I mean, some people like camping groups. There's some people that go out in camping groups. There's a lot of people love that RTR, that annual convention in Arizona where they all hook up. And look, a lot of people, they do positive things. They're not hurting nobody and they really enjoy it. So again, life is all about living your personal preference. I ain't mad at that. Startback. Galaxy, it's called the National Research Act. Galaxy, Startback did some research. Made in 1974. It required that regulations be made on how to research what was done. I just looked it up. Amen. Startpack's a leader. Galaxy says, as Startpack, your knowledge is amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Give Startpack some love. And I'm glad it is better than what it was. Amen. We're getting better. I still think that if we want to do research, then they should do it on themselves, I hear you, Galaxy. Jesus retracted his statement. Galaxy, Startpack Games. Like, I'm sure the animals don't want to be part of the experiments if that makes sense. I understand your heart, Galaxy. I totally hear your heart. Startpack. At Galaxy, I get you. It doesn't seem right forcing animals to test on new drugs and chemicals, but that's just how the world works. The most common subjects are rats and rats and I don't know what that says, R&T, even that accurate, and aren't that accurate. Yeah, most of the testing on animals is mice. I hear that. Good comment, guys. Pat, I think I would feel much more vulnerable being in an RV lifestyle or living in a van because I am a gal in my 50s. Something else to think about. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think you do take a little bit more personal risk. But I will say, not necessarily from like Freddy Krueger coming and get you, from the aspect of you're on the road more and you drive more. And, driving can be very dangerous, even if you're a good driver. I always go back to, yes, it's a little more risky, but I always go back to, if you're a responsible person, you'll live responsibly in whatever form of living you do. I know people who live in apartments and who live in houses that are irresponsible, and there's always drama. There's always safety issues. Somebody's trying to stab somebody. Somebody's arguing. Somebody's cops are coming to. How many times do cops come to people's houses? So if cops come to a lot of people's houses, then they're living irresponsibly. They have a house, but they're irresponsible. So you just have to remember, if you live responsibly and sensibly, I believe you can make it work, but it is a little bit more risky. Linda just got here. Linda, hello to you. Bad day. I'm sorry to hear that. $2,700 was taken from my bank account. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Linda. Sorry. Hi to all. Linda, I'm so sorry going through that. Love and grace to you. That's all I can say. Good to see you, Linda. Start back. Galaxy. Rats given a chemically cured them from cancer. When you give the same dose in similar quantity to humans, they've had seizures, and most of them died. So animal testing doesn't work all the time. There's nothing that works all the time. Certainly doesn't. Nothing works all the time. Totally agree with that. Pat, did you hear about a chip they want to put into some seniors in the case they get lost? Police will be able to find them. Well, look, everyone carries their phone with them. That's a chip. My dog had a chip in her. Most dogs have chips in them in case they get lost. And your phone, your phone is a chip. Most people, they'll never throw away their phone. Their phone's always by them. Look, I mean, the governments, they have satellites that can see you, they can track you. There's digital cameras on almost every street light. There's digital cameras almost on every building. You go into a Walmart, there's cameras everywhere. There's a crime committed. What cops do? They go back to all the... Sorry about that, guys. I got cut off. Some work-related issues I had to deal with. So I got to end this live stream a little early. Let me just get back to some comments, and then I got to get going. I'm sorry. Damn, it was a lot of good comments, too. Damn, a lot of good comments. I'm not going to be able to get to them all tonight. We'll have to pick up tomorrow. I'm sorry about that, guys. I have to prioritize. I have to do something for work. I have to go check something out. But thank you for all the comments. Please, the ones I didn't get to today, we will talk about tomorrow. And thank you, Pat. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you, everyone, thank you. Period. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a positive night. Have a peaceful night. Go in peace. Don't let anxiety, don't let worries press on your mind. And just go in peace. And thank you. We'll hook up again tomorrow.